This is WFYI News Now. It's Tuesday, January 20th, and I'm Sarah Neal Estes. Here are today's Central Indiana and statewide stories. A manhunt is underway after a Tippecanoe County judge and his wife were found shot at their Lafayette home Sunday afternoon. Tippecanoe's Superior Court Judge Stephen Meyer and his wife Kimberly are in stable condition. Authorities have not released a motive or suspect description. The FBI and Indiana State Police joined local agencies in the investigation. Indiana Supreme Court Chief Justice Loretta Rush said in a statement, quote, "Any violence against a judge or a judge's family is completely unacceptable." She also asked judges to, quote, "remain vigilant in their own security." The Lafayette Police Department says Stephen Meyer was injured in the arm and Kimberly Meyer struck in the hip. Anyone with information related to this incident is asked to call Lafayette Police. President Donald Trump says he is now actively working to defeat Republican Indiana State Senate Leader Rodric Bray. Eric Weddle reports.
Trump says he'll work tirelessly to remove Indiana Senate Pro Tem Rodric Bray from office. In a blistering social media post, Trump warned the senator, "We're after you, Bray, like no one has ever come after you before." Trump threatened state Republican leaders last year when most senators defeated a plan to redraw Indiana's congressional maps to favor the GOP in the midterm elections. This renewed threat targeting Bray comes as Virginia Democrats move to flip GOP-held U.S. House seats in its state. Trump says he's committed to defeating Bray, but Bray's current term continues through 2028. Bray's office did not respond to WFYI's request for comment. I am Eric Weddle.
Events to honor civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. were held across the state and country yesterday and this weekend. At IU Indianapolis, students protested the cancellation of a decades-old dinner celebrating King. Zach Castle reports.
When Darius Avery heard about the cancellation of the dinner, he was angry, so he decided to organize a protest of his own to honor King's legacy. At least 25 people showed up for the eat-in. Avery says he was planning to attend the dinner this year.
Unfortunately, I wasn't shocked. It was more so like this falls in line with the policies that have been implemented here in IU Indianapolis.
IU Indianapolis hosted the annual dinner for nearly 60 years. The university has said it canceled the dinner for budgetary reasons. I'm Zach Castle in Indianapolis.
State lawmakers discussed a bill last week that would tighten eligibility for the state's Medicaid and Supplemental Nutrition Assistance programs. Ben Thorpe reports.
Bill co-author Republican Senator Chris Garton says the measure will help bring Indiana in line with new federal requirements passed as part of the Big, Beautiful Bill last year. Garton said the state needs to reduce errors in its welfare programs to avoid new and costly penalties from the federal government.
By tightening these screws, we ensure that our safety net remains sustainable for the two groups that I have continuously focused on in these reforms over the last few years: our poor, our disabled, and our children.
Democrats took issue with some of the bill's framing, noting that there was no evidence of widespread fraud in Indiana's welfare system. The bill now heads to the full Senate. I'm Ben Thorpe at the State House.
A supportive housing center for young men in Indianapolis welcomed the public to their fully equipped facility last week. Jeremy Rubin has more.
Blossom House is a short-term shelter for men ages 14 to 17 on the north side of Indianapolis, run by the nonprofit Voices. It offers support like mental health services and case management. Voices executive director Kia Wright says they've just received licensing through the Department of Child Services. That means the state can direct young men to Blossom House if they need a place to stay while interacting with law enforcement.
They want to be safe. They don't want to sleep behind Hardee's. They don't want to be, couch surfing. And here they know that they are treated with dignity and respect, and they are safe.
Wright says Voices is working on another housing facility that will accommodate entire families, expected to open in Hawville this March. I'm Jeremy Rubin.
And Indiana University's football team capped a remarkable 2-year turnaround from the bottom of the Big Ten to the #1 team at the college football championship game last night. Head coach Curt Cignetti said it's a thing of legend.
National champions at Indiana University, which I know a lot of people thought was never possible. It probably is one of the greatest sports stories of all time.
Cignetti had nothing but praise for quarterback Fernando Mendoza.
I mean, that guy competes like a warrior, and, he got really smacked a few times in this game.
The last team to have a perfect season win total was Yale in 1894. That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. This episode is produced by Drew Dodlin with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Kendall Antron produced our music. If you liked today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to get the latest updates from our newsroom anytime. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.